So I want to talk about Pokemon.
Yeah!
I want to talk about Pokemon.
Yes, we do. We both do.
The Nintendo Direct trailer came on yesterday morning for Pokemon Sword and Shield, and I'm fucking hyped, and the starters are all really, really cute, and I'm seeing a lot of memes about Pokemon, and I'm just, like, really excited for Pokemon hype online again. That's, like, such a fun time.
Yeah. It's just really nice in these troubling times that we live in, that, like, everyone can unite over, Pokemon, that's nice.
Yeah, like...
We've been sort of having that with the Detective Pikachu movie, but there's a lot of people who are like, it's a little divisive because, you know, it's a video game movie and will it be good? And also, like, the CGI is divisive. I love it. I think it looks great. You hate it.
Oh, I think it's ugly as sin. I hate it so much.
I
am
love
so,
them
like,
all.
not excited for that movie. I think it's gonna be fucking weird.
No, I love... they did another trailer for that the day before the Direct. And they showed Snorlax in the trailer. And he's so cute. He's all fuzzy. It's really cute. I like it.
I don't like any of the characters. I think they all look horrible.
Even Pikachu?
Yeah, especially Pikachu.
Really? I think he's very
I think he
cute.
looks fucking weird.
I do like that Pikachu curses.
Oh my god, he says damn and hell. It's so funny.
He doesn't say damn, but he does say hell, and he calls Charizard a putz, which is very good.
I saw a comic that somebody drew that was like, I can swear now, and then somebody's like, Pikachu, shh, somebody will hear you, and then he picks up Pikachu, and Pikachu just yells, piss! It's so funny.
I so want Pikachu to say piss.
Which one would you want to play, Sword or Shield?
Probably Sword, because...
Swords are cool.
They immediately start doing the memes of, like, Pokemon Shield, Pokemon Sword is for lesbians, and Pokemon Sword is for lesbians, and Pokemon Shield is for gays.
Really? I haven't seen that.
I saw because, like, you know, everyone's all about, like, lesbians with swords.
Yeah. Carly Rae Jepsen and her sword.
Yeah. I am not a lesbian, but I definitely, like, identify closer on the lesbian spectrum.
I just think swords are cool.
There's that too, yeah.
I like definitely think that more people are going to buy Pokemon Sword just because swords are cool.
But just because Sword is a cooler name than Shield.
Yeah. Pokemon Sword, Shield, and Gun.
Gun. It was immediately like everyone made the same joke at the same time.
So funny.
Everyone had their photoshops ready.
Oh yeah, Tyler was talking about the different titles, and apparently, like, there are certain Pokemon games where one of them is more marketed towards boys and the other one more towards girls.
That's interesting.
And it's like, we were talking about, like, which one is the girl gun?
Girl gun.
Pokemon Gun and Pokemon Bigger Gun.
Amazing.
Sword's probably the one that's supposed to be marketed towards boys or whatever because it's, like, phallic or some weird
or also, like,
bullshit.
you know, you can stab people with it and boys think that's cool.
Gendered marketing is fucking weird.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's the idea of, like, boys are more, like, ready to play fight or whatever than girls
ready
are.
Ready to fucking throw hands.
Yeah. What was I gonna say? It was something... Oh, the whole gendered Pokemon thing, that kind of makes sense with X and Y.
Because of, like, chromosomes?
Yeah.
I guess. Let's talk about the starters. How do you feel about all the starters?
They're so cute, and I love them all.
They're so cute. The designs, like, I've seen some people complaining how the designs are, like, kind of simple and, like, they're not that interesting, but, like, fucking
That's
whatever.
Fucking every Pokemon. It's fine. Sobble is very cute and a huge mood.
It has anxiety.
Yeah,
he hides in the water because he has anxiety.
Huh? It's a little scared ball of stress.
Yeah.
And I feel that. I feel that in my core.
My favorite is Grookey. He's cute.
Of course Grookey's your favorite, because he's baby and monkey.
He's so funny. He's so cute. I didn't like him at first. I was like, oh, all these starters are kind of meh. And then I, like, really looked at Grookey and I saw him's little nose. His, like, little snoot thing he's got.
Him's little nose.
And I was like, oh, I want that one.
I love rabbits so much. So I was immediately drawn to Scorbunny.
Tyler's favorite is Scorbunny, too.
And then someone on Twitter made the comparison, pointed out that, like, Scorbunny's pose is very similar to, like, a Sonic character. And that made me love him even more.
The reason why I texted you and asked you, like, what your favorite starter was out of the new, like, announced ones was because, when, Tyler, Sasha, and I got lunch today, we were talking about Pokemon and, like, the starters and, like, the new game that was announced, and we came to the conclusion that Score Bunny's design was very foot-heavy.
I hate you. I hate your guts. I hate everything you stand for. How dare you call me out on this on our podcast?
You can edit it out.
In front of the entire internet. No, I can't. That's really funny.
So funny.
Okay, so following that logic, following this little train of logic, what does that say about people who prefer Sobble and Grookey?
Nothing. They're just cute.
No, there has to be.
No, do not apply fetishes to all of the starter Pokemon.
No, look, I have to call you out for something, and out of spite.
I can't think of it. I really can't think of anything.
Yeah, fucking damn it. Why are you like the most vanilla person I know? It sucks. I can literally make fun of you for nothing.
You can make fun of me for a lot of things. Whether or not they'll be accurate is different.
But no, like not really. Not in the same way that you make fun of me constantly. Over my like just assortment of gross fetishes. What?
Tyler's sending me messages on Discord.
God.
I guess she overheard us. And, I don't know what the first thing is in response to. She says, "Yes, you do. Don't lie. I know you want to lick Score Bunny's big ol' feet."
Oh my god. I think she's talking to me.
Maybe.
I think she's talking to me. Tyler's the worst.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, speaking of which, I kind of wanted to talk about potentially having guests on the show, and
yeah.
But I want to get Tyler on the podcast at some point because we were talking last night, and Tyler actually has some like kind of cool like projects that she's been like wanting to do and that she's worked on in the past. So like, it was mostly like programming and like video game development stuff. But we were talking.
That's cool though.
Yeah, I think it would actually like fit pretty well with like what we do here and like what this kind of stuff that we like talk about and that we work on and stuff. So I thought that would be pretty interesting. So, I guess we could probably do that like whenever because Tyler and I live together. So
that's true. Yeah.
First guest. That sounds fun.
Yeah, that'd be cute.
But yeah. Do you want to talk about your pitch first?
Do you want to intro the episode first?
No. They know who we are.
Hello everybody and welcome to Best Boys Podcast, a show by film students, but not just for film students. I'm Jessie, the other one, and...
I've been raptured. Shh.
What?
God took me.
Oh no.
I'm gone.
Oh my god, I can't believe Thanos took Leo.
I got snapped.
He got snapped.
More like snatched, hunty.
You got snapped like Chalk Zone.
Huh. I didn't watch that one much
as
a
really?
kid.
Oh, there's a
it's supposed to be like really, really good. I never watched it that much. But yeah, what was your pitch that you wanted to talk about in class, or not in class? Is it for class?
It is in class, yeah.
Okay.
So I'm taking a screenwriting class, and about maybe a week ago, maybe 2 weeks ago, I don't know. How does time work? I had to have a meeting with my professor. I had to like go over like the script details and whatever, and like the pitch for it and the outline and everything. And I was like kind of worried going into the meeting because, yeah, of course the thing I wrote is like supremely gay.
Mm-hmm.
And my professor, he doesn't go into it too much, but he is definitely like religious. Like I'm not sure like how religious he is, but he does have like a Bible in his office.
Huh. Okay.
So I'm like, we'll see how this goes. And he really dug it. Like the outline. He was like really into it. He was like, "Oh, this is cool. This is funny. I like this idea." It was like, it was very nice to hear. And I wanted to share like the idea for the movie with you and also the listeners at home.
The listener at home.
The our whole fan.
Our one entire fan.
Our 1.0 fan. I shared like some of the details with you like a while ago when it wasn't super fleshed out.
Yeah.
And you weren't like super in love with it, I remember.
I didn't know what it was. You had like nothing. You were like, "There's lesbians." I'm like, cool. That's like all you had at the time.
I said it was a lesbian superhero and a lesbian supervillain, and they have to go on a road trip together. And you were like,
that's literally all you had for me. Like, how could I have made any sort of like, how could I have had any sort of opinion on it when that's literally all that you offered me like by way of this story? And I was like, I mean, yeah, obviously, if it has lesbians in it, it's probably going to be good. But like,
yeah.
What else?
Does there need to be anything else, Leo?
You're right. You're honestly super right.
Also, for the record, I am open to feedback and criticism. However, I might cry if you give me criticism. So, keep that in mind.
Just be nice. Don't be mean.
Yeah, I'm saying that to you, Leo. Don't hurt my fifis. So criticize me all you like, haters.
You can't hurt me. These shades are Gucci.
You can't hurt me. I'm so fragile. So I cannot. I gotta close Discord. I cannot do this while like I'm staring at someone. It's like very like disarming, I guess.
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna have to like pitch a movie to someone eventually, but I super don't want to. It's like, do you ever have that where you like have to like
I get like stage fright if I'm talking to just like a couple of people. Like if I have to stand up and talk to like a couple of people, but not so much when it's more people because I have different places to put my eyes. But if it's like 3 people, it's like, okay, I looked at this person for 60 seconds. That's weird. I'm going to keep looking at this person for blah, blah, blah. I get more freaked out like the less people there are. But if there's more people, it doesn't bother me as much. So I guess kind of.
Yeah. I just always have that thing where it's like, I'll say, "Oh, I'm working on a screenplay," and someone will be like, "Ooh, tell me about it," and I'll be like, I don't wanna.
I actually don't want to say anything. I've never had an idea ever.
I super don't want to like describe any of my work that I'm proud of. Oh god, I'm nervous. I'm actually really nervous. This sucks. I don't think I want to do this.
Really? You don't?
I'm like really nervous. It's like, I don't know, it's weird. It's like it goes back into that thing of like I cannot stand rejection and like I don't know, I'm just really like, oh man, what if Leo doesn't like it? What if Leo thinks it's lame? I don't know.
He's like already told me about it.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm like
Do you want me to talk about my project first?
Yes.
Okay. But yeah, I finished my storyboard for Amadeus in my storyboarding class, and I got a good grade on it. I didn't enjoy doing it towards the end. I was kind of tired of it. Like, I don't really want to talk too much about that project because it was just kind of like I finished it, I got a grade, whatever. It's not anything that I'm like super duper proud of. Most of what I enjoyed doing went into like pre-production, like researching costumes and like fashion from like the 1700s and shit. Like that was cool. And doing like character design stuff, but like the actual like storyboarding work was just like fucking annoying, and like I didn't really like that project all that much. So whatever, I'm moving on past that one. But we got our new assignment in class yesterday, and basically what we're supposed to do is, because we're learning the basic components in like what it takes to create an animatic, like a full animatic like storyboard for like an animated project or something like that, because our final exam or our final project is like a fully done animatic, and I think it has to be like a couple of minutes long. I haven't read the like rubric for it yet because we haven't been assigned it yet, but our new project is basically fucking around in Premiere with editing and timing and like using illustrations and like being able to like make things in Premiere look like they're like panning over the image, or like doing camera movements over a still image and that kind of thing. And we're supposed to be working with voiceover stuff and like audio mixing and shit as well. So our assignment that we're getting is we're supposed to take a children's book. Our teacher like offered some of her own.
Right.
And
okay.
Yeah, she offered some of her own from home. This. And they were like her kids' stuff, and I didn't want to use somebody else's kids' storybooks because I thought that was weird. And also we would have to like take pictures of the illustrations or like scan them, and that just probably was gonna look bad. But I tried to find PDFs of some storybooks that I read as a kid, or like my parents would read to me as a kid, and I had as a child just like this really big like collection of Dr. Seuss books, just like all in one big book. And I was talking to my dad about it because I asked him if he had like a specific book from when I was a kid, and then we just started talking about the project. And apparently there was one. I remember this. I didn't remember it until my dad brought it up. But there's a Dr. Seuss book called The Sleep Book, and it talks about like, it's basically like all of these people in these towns. Here's like their nightly rituals and how they go to bed. And, like, every time my parents would read it to me, they would get so tired, and they would yawn, like, so much while reading me this book. And my dad was like, if you really want a challenge, then maybe try to narrate that one and try not to yawn.
That's cute.
So, I wound up not going with the sleep book because I actually found an entire PDF with, like, really good quality images and, like, really, really good quality, like, I don't know, it was just good. It was, like, a well-uploaded, like, version, or like a digital version of the book If I Ran the Zoo, which my mom and dad read that one to me a lot. And I was like, oh, that'll be fun. I can read a bunch of nonsense words and like whatever. But the problem that I've encountered is that Dr. Seuss was pretty racist, and there's like some kind of not great things in this book, and I'm gonna try to edit around it because like I like the book and I'm probably gonna use it for my project, and like the fact that I was able to find the entire thing online pretty easily is like, I want to use that resource, but I am definitely going to change things. I'm not going to like allow myself to read some of the things that are in that book. Yeah, pretty bad. Yeah, I really don't want to do that to like me or my classmates.
Yeah, you sent some screenshots to me, and I was like, oof.
Yeah, they're not awesome.
Yeah, there's some not great stuff about certain minorities in there.
Yeah, if you want to check it out, I guess read the book, but I'm not really going to talk about them in depth. I don't want to like spotlight racism in a book. Like that seems just, you know, bad. I don't want to give stuff like that attention. But anyway, I'm going to try to edit around it, and I've actually like rewritten some stuff that I'm going to read instead, and I'm making some choices with like camera panning and movements and stuff that I'm going to do. But I mentioned that book in class, and like a lot of my classmates like didn't recognize it or like had never heard of it. So I think with this one, it's gonna be Like, it's not one of the, it's not like the Lorax or like the Sneetches or whatever that like everybody's heard of. So if I was like to edit things,
a Horton Hears a Who or a Grinch.
Yeah, if like if I change things in this book, I don't
Green
think
Eggs and Ham.
Yeah.
Mr. Brown Can Moo, can you?
I'm like convinced that I don't think anybody would really notice a difference if I like change some shit in the book.
That's true, yeah.
I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna censor Dr. Seuss, so whatever.
Wow. Censorship alive and well in 2019.
Theodore Geisel, I think was like his actual name.
Yeah, Geisel.
Geisel, okay. I'll probably upload it onto the channel once I'm done with it, because I'm actually kind of looking forward to this one. It sounds fun. I just really like editing things in Premiere, so
yeah,
I'll fuck with that a bit.
I really am. Okay.
Why is it like you've already told me?
It's like the fact that I've added on more detail, and I'm like also giving this to an audience, sort of.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know. It's just this thing of like I'm so afraid of like rejection, and like, what if like it's not great? And, like, I don't know. It's sort of a thing of, like, I look up to you a lot, personally. So, like, if you were like, oh, this isn't good, I think it would be better if you did this, I'd be like, aw. Like,
you know I wouldn't just tell you that's not good, or, like, this thing isn't good.
Uh-huh.
Like, I feel like I feel like we know each other well enough so that, like, you should not expect that behavior from me.
Yeah, I don't expect it from you. It's just like, I don't know, it's just a nagging in the back of my head of like, you know.
I don't know how to write stories. I really don't know how to come up with good ideas and shit. So like, basically I don't really have a lot of experience with like actually writing stories like at all. I don't think I'm very good at like coming up with like actual plot lines and actual stories. Like, I have to write an entire D&D campaign for D&D night at the community center tomorrow? No, Saturday. And I was planning on doing that today. And like I do not know where to begin. Like I grabbed my D&D notebook to like write some shit down, and I'm expecting the kids to just be like really really stupid and like take everything off the rails, so I won't have to worry about it too much, but I'm still like nervous about it. Like, I don't know how to write stories. I don't know how to like come up with plots that make sense and shit. So like whatever you have is probably better than I can do.
Okay. So, it's a superhero thing, because I only know like 2 things in the world, and it's superheroes and gay stuff. So I wrote them both. That was a joke. You were supposed to laugh at that, and you didn't.
You cut out really bad. I assumed that it was a joke, but I was like,
okay.
Take it from the top. Try it again.
Take
Sorry.
2. Ow, damn it.
Yeah, pretty much.
That hurt. Hit myself like right on like the wrist bone.
Take 2. It's like
just kick myself in the nards. remember I was editing the episode a little bit earlier. It's like when you nut. You just lost your shit for like an entire minute.
It's like when you nut.
So
okay, go back to your very funny joke that I missed. I'm sorry.
It's a superhero thing, because there's only 2 things I know how to write. It's superheroes and gay stuff. So I did both. Damn it.
It doesn't sound like a joke.
Okay.
It just sounds like a statement.
Okay,
Yep,
I was just expecting
right.
like any sort of response of like a worm or like yeah, or something.
I thought you were just gonna continue. I didn't have anything of import to add.
Nah, you're
Sorry.
fine. Yeah, I'll just crawl over here and die. So it's a rom-com, a romantic comedy, if you will.
I won't.
Okay. And it's about Amy, who's a superhero. She's the only superhero in this very, very small, rural, like, retirement sort of town. Like, you know those, like, towns in Florida where, like, everyone just kind of goes to retire to?
That's how my hometown was, yeah.
Yeah, okay, so imagine that, like, it's just a bunch of mom and pop stores and then, like, one Walgreens or whatever.
Yeah, mine
like
wasn't that bad.
vibe.
Like, we did have, like, a Walmart and, like, you know, chain restaurants and shit, but it was very, like, small and shitty and not a lot to do.
Yeah, it's, like, something, like, adjacent to that. So it's mostly, like, old people there, mostly, like, retirees and conservatives and whatever, and there's one superhero, and there isn't much crime in the town because it's, like, just old people. So she just is literally, like, saving cats out of trees and, like,
arresting
like,
people for weed possession.
No, like, mowing the lawn for her neighbors or whatever. Like, she's, like, a hero for hire, but, like, hero is, like, a very loose term.
Yeah.
You know? And she does have, like, powers, but she, like, doesn't really need to use them that much.
Yeah.
Like, she's really, like, small and, like, she's, like, a very petite, like, she's, like, a 5'1", you know, kind of, like, stature. So she's not really, like, good for crime fighting generally.
Yeah.
Is the idea.
What are her powers? Like, have you come up with what they're supposed to be?
Yeah, so you know, like, Green Lantern, like, how he can just, like, make, like, shit appear. Like,
yeah.
Sort of, like, energy-like constructs. Okay, so imagine that, but instead of green, it's, like, rainbows.
Okay. Because she's gay. Yeah.
Because she's gay. She's a big ol' lesbian. She has, like, rainbow-colored hair. She has, like, a giant lesbian pride flag in her bedroom. And because, like, everyone in town's, like, a conservative, like, shitty old person, no one really likes her. Like, there's a couple people that are like, yeah, she's alright. But, like, a lot of people there just don't like her because she's very, like, openly gay.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, you don't have to make gay your entire personality. Back in my day, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
The gays would keep to themselves, you know. And so, like, but, like, it's sort of a thing of, like, why doesn't she just leave? Of course, she has a tragic backstory of why she can't leave the town. Her sister lived there and, like, she got sick with something. I haven't figured out what yet. But she moved there to, like, take care of her. And then her sister died. And she just couldn't stand to leave. So it's, like, a trauma-fueled, like, I need to, like... And also she's making the excuse of, like, if I do enough, like, goodwill to these old people, maybe they'll, like, change their minds on, like, being shitty old homophobes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think that could make for an interesting arc of, like, her working through the grief of losing her sister. Mm-hmm. Like, also, when it comes to, like, what sort of thing that she should have, like... It's difficult coming up with, I mean, obviously, like, specific diseases don't necessarily, like, only happen to older people, but it's sometimes kind of hard to be realistic when it comes to, like, what illness a person dies from if they're supposed to be, like, a young adult or something.
Yeah.
There was one that I was thinking of, and I can't think of what it is.
Like, all the diseases that pop in my mind are like, oh, this is, like... I don't know. I feel like it's kind of a hard balance of, like, it's a romantic comedy. Like, I don't want to get, like, too sad and say, like, she had ALS or whatever. Like, just...
Yeah.
Like, that's a lot. Like, I don't know. It's a hard line to walk.
Terminal illness is going to be a lot. So, like...
I mean, true, yeah.
I don't think you can really get around that.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I don't know, like, what exactly to do with that. We'll put a pin in that and come back to it maybe later.
There's, like, a specific thing that I was thinking of, and I can't remember. There's like a girl that's, like, around our age that has it, and she's, like, very public about it, and she has, like, I think she does, like, TED Talks and shit. I don't know her name, and I don't know what she has. But she's, like, a young person, so it's, like, I don't know, whenever I think of, like, illnesses or terminal diseases or whatever, like, the first thing that popped into my head was Alzheimer's, which is not a terminal illness, but I'm like, that's not...
Yeah.
That's not really applicable to, like, this character, I guess.
Yeah. Especially to, like, someone who's, like, around our age-ish.
Yeah, which, like, to be fair, both of us are, like, able-bodied, like, we don't have experience with,
that's
like,
true.
the maybe not culture, but, like, we don't really have experience with, like, chronic illness, terminal illness, stuff like that, so, like,
yeah,
that's not really something, we could not possibly pull on our own experiences from that, so, like,
yeah.
I guess if anybody else has, like, experience with that sort of thing, or has, like, suggestions for this situation, like, maybe get at us and, like, offer some
comment your terminal illness.
Maybe not that, but maybe offer us some insight that we would not otherwise have.
Yeah. And I have this idea of, like, early on, like, she, like, has, like, a friend, like, come into town to, like, visit her and be like, hey, I'm coming in with my wife to, like, visit for a little bit, like, have dinner.
Yeah.
Like, hey, you should, like, move out of here because everyone sucks and they hate you.
Yeah.
And you should leave and go somewhere, like, more progressive and good. And also, like, girl, you need to settle down, you know?
Yeah.
You need to, like, have a life that isn't just going out and, like, mowing the grass for, like, the shitty old lady who lives next door.
Yeah, who hates you.
Who hates you and, like, calls you all sorts of horrible things or whatever.
That sucks.
Yeah. And my professor pointed out, like, it's really interesting that, like, it's an interesting and, like, very, like, good commentary that, like, even though she's doing a lot to, like, help these people, they still are, like, she'll, like, help a cat out of a tree or whatever, and the old lady would be like, well, thanks, but I could have done it myself, you fucking gay or whatever.
Yeah, just, like, horrible slurs or whatever.
Yeah, it's like, well, fucking, like, I don't know, I think it's an interesting idea of, like, they call her over to help, and then when she helps, they're like, oh, well, I could have done that, you know?
Yeah. I feel like the message that you could glean from that is, like, no matter what you do, people are always gonna be fucking terrible. However, you should still put yourself first. Like, there's nothing wrong with trying to help people if they want to be helped, but if somebody is, like... I saw somebody, like, describe it as somebody being committed to misunderstanding you. Don't waste your time. Like, that's... Like, if you want to, like, change somebody's mind and they seem like they're willing to listen, cool. Like, maybe educate somebody and you might help them. But, like, if they're just gonna be shitty, just... It's not worth getting into it, I guess.
Yeah. And so, this is the part of the screenplay where we get to the inciting incident, the thing that happens happens to our character that makes their life turn upside down.
In West Philadelphia.
Yeah. You know what I'm about.
Yes.
And so we have a police officer shows up, and is like, hey, we need your help. You're a superhero, right? And she's like, kind of.
Yeah.
And he's like, look, okay, so they have a prisoner who's also superpowered. She's like a low-level supervillain, like sort of a grunt, I guess.
Yeah.
Like, you know how, like, they always have, like, a backup, like supervillains always have, like, a backup player who's, like, they have powers, but, like, they're just sort of there in the background, like, you're my, like, fourth right-hand man or whatever. Like, in case, like, Superman shows up to beat the shit out of us, like, you're like, at the door to, like, stop him or whatever.
You're my evil doorman.
Yeah, exactly. She's that. She's Maggie. And my professor asked her, like, what's her powers? And I said, she sneezes. And he just, like, leans back in his chair and goes, dude.
Yeah.
I thought that was really funny.
Yeah. So Amy has to take care of the evil doorman.
So basically, the evil doorman is about to testify against the person who she's the doorman for.
Okay.
So she's gonna go to, like, the, like, Supreme Court and basically be like, hey, there's this guy, he's, like, super criminal, you need to, like, arrest him, like, now.
Yeah. What does the dude do?
Like, he's sort of like a mob enforcer of supervillains.
Yeah.
So, like, he He's
like
sort
a
of like
crime
just
boss, kind of.
Yeah, kind of. He like basically says, "Okay, you guys team up and like go rob those banks." He's sort of like in charge of like basically like probably like 80% of all supervillains in North America is the idea.
Yeah.
So like he's just like the guy in charge. He's like the brains of like every operation. He doesn't have powers himself, but he like surrounds himself with people who do. His name is I have it here. I'm not married to this name, so feel free to criticize it. JB Jericho.
I'm playing around with that name in my mind. I like Jericho. I'm pretty good at coming up with names. We've talked about this.
We have, yeah. I feel like JB is okay, but I feel like I could do better.
I think so too, but I can't think of an alternative.
Yeah.
It is good though. Like I'm okay with it. It doesn't jump out to me as sounding weird or bad.
Yeah.
I agree. I think you could do better, but I can't think of anything to replace it. So for now, that'll be the working name.
B-.
Yes.
Okay.
Definitely stick with Jericho though. That sounds cool.
Yeah, Jericho's good.
So Jericho's a pussy-ass loser that doesn't actually have powers, but exploits other people's powers for his gain and protection. Sounds good.
Pretty much. He's like a... Yeah, he's sort of like a Lex Luthor, but like Lex Luthor sometimes puts on like battle armor to fight Superman.
Yeah.
He doesn't, so...
He doesn't even do that.
So he's like just weenie Lex Luthor, but like not as rich.
Weenie Lex Luthor.
Weenie middle-class Lex Luthor.
That's funny.
Yeah. And they need to transport Maggie to the Supreme Court. But like the problem is Jericho's got like a bunch of like goons like set up like across like pretty much all over the place. So like it's next to impossible to transport her without like getting the attention of some like superpowered baddies that like no one wants to deal with. Like the only other superheroes around here are like they're not around for miles. You're cheap, sure, you know, kind of. Like
Amy
you'll do
is a
this.
Superhero on commission.
Yeah,
she's a freelance superhero. Support me on Patreon.
Like, comment, and subscribe if you like having a superhero in your town.
1 million downvotes from everybody in her shitty town.
Not 1 million.
Yeah, I know.
No,
I'm
they all
greatly
make
overestimating the population of this city.
It's like maybe 60 people.
Oh my god, yeah, my hometown wasn't that bad.
Yeah, I mean, that's closer to, like, my mom's hometown. That was, like, a town where, like, everyone knew everyone kind of situation.
I feel like my hometown kind of branded itself that way, but it wasn't actually true.
My mom's hometown was that way. Like, she knew, like, every police officer. She, like, had dinner with them. Like, every, like, just person walking around, like... She went to school with, like, everyone's kid, so she knew, like, everyone's parents, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
There was, like, only one school, so, you know.
My hometown's population as of 2017 is 15,000. So, definitely not 1 million, but...
Yeah. But, yeah, more in the... Somewhere in the ballpark of, like, 100, 150.
Wow.
Maybe. Yeah. Just very, very small pickings. Anyway, and Amy decides, all right, sure, I'll leave this town for a few days and help you bring Maggie to the Supreme Court hearing. And of course, Maggie and Amy immediately don't get along.
Oh yeah.
Because it's a superhero and a supervillain, and you know, and so the entire pretty much second act is a road trip from. Like, it's basically like a day-long road trip from, like, where they are to where they're going. And there's a lot of bickering and a lot of, like, stops on the way. And we're cutting back to, like, Jericho, who's, like, on their trail because one of the cops that is with Amy and Maggie is secretly working for Jericho. So there's a little twist there.
Okay. What is Maggie's powers again?
She sneezes.
And
Like, she can,
like, so do I. Like, bitch, me too. The fuck?
Like, one of those, like, really big sneezes that, like, can knock over a building or whatever.
Okay, that's dope. Idea. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. I like the idea of she can make herself sneeze, but if she's, like, about to sneeze like a regular person would, she can't stop herself.
So it's like she can't quite control it?
Sort of. Like, she can make herself sneeze. Like, she can just go like, okay, I'm about to fight some people. You know?
Yeah.
But if, like, she's just, like, you know, just chilling, and she gets a little tickle in her nose, she's like, fuck me. Okay. Don't like this.
She has to go into, like, the middle of the desert when she has a head cold. Just, like, hang out and blow up cactuses with her sonic
If she ever has, like,
sinuses.
She ever has hay fever, she needs to go into the middle of nowhere. Yeah.
Just go hang out in the woods and blow up some trees.
Just knock over, like, some boulders.
She has to be quarantined.
And there's, my professor pointed out some ideas of, like, they could have, like, the scene that, like, it's in, like, every movie where it's like, okay, I need to go to the bathroom, and they're like, okay, but don't try anything.
Oh yeah,
she goes into the bathroom, or she goes into the bathroom to, like, sneak out the window, and, like, they're on the other side, like, come on, we know. Like, they're on the other side of the window, like, come on, you're not gonna sneak away from us that easy. And I thought, well, what if it's like a better one? She goes to the bathroom to, like, pee or whatever, and there's just, like, one of Jericho's, like, guys in there, like, waiting for her to, like, ambush her. So there's just, like, a big fight scene in a bathroom.
Yeah.
at like a shitty gas station in, like, Manitoba or whatever.
Manitoba's in Canada. Is this in?
Oh yeah, this is in Canada.
Okay.
I forgot to mention. It's a crucial.
It's a crucial detail.
Really funny side note. My professor, I was worried that my professor was gonna be like, "So are you gay or something?" Like,
what are you?
Because, like,
what are you, fucking gay?
Well, it's because, like, I'm writing a gay thing. He asked me, "Are you Canadian?" Because it said in Canada.
That's so funny.
And I said no, and he said, "Have you ever been to Canada?" And I said, "No, I just like the landscapes. I just like looking at pictures."
That's so funny. You have to come out to your professor as not Canadian. That's so funny.
It's really funny. Yeah, I was worried, like, after he asked, "Are you Canadian?" I was worried he was gonna get to the gay parts and he's gonna be like,
he just never did. That's so funny.
He never asked. I guess he probably assumes.
Yeah.
From the everything about me, I have fucking painted nails.
Yeah.
There's only, like, one straight man on Earth who has painted nails, and it's Travis McElroy.
Yeah, I was about to say, Travis.
Yeah. Well, you know what? And also probably the band Kiss. They might paint their nails.
Probably. I could see it.
Yeah. Like black.
With, but also, like, they're skulls.
But also they're shitty, so they don't count.
Yeah.
So it's just a road trip, and there comes to a point where Amy and Maggie they start butting heads, and they just have this super powered scuffle in the middle of nowhere. Like, they have to, like, pull the car over, and just so they can, like, yell out their feelings and, like, throw some shit around or whatever. And
as you do. As you do.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just gotta pull over and throw some shit. Yeah,
pretty much. And of course, in the little chaos from that, another one of Jericho's men shows up, and he has weather powers, so he makes a giant, like, snowstorm hit them. But he can't, like, stop the snowstorm, so it's just this massive, like, blizzard just hits them out of nowhere, and they're like, we need to, like, set up camp. We need to, like, stop somewhere. We can't drive in this. This is too dangerous. So they find, like, a little cottage, like a nice little cozy cottage that they can, like, settle down in for the night. And that's where Amy and Maggie, like, start to, like, kind of, like, get a little closer with each other, get to know each other a little bit better, start to, like, connect, and then they kiss. Because, of course. You seem a little flabbergasted. Are you not digging this?
You said this took place over the course of, like, a day, right?
That's true, yeah.
The scene is good. Like, I get that. But since I would say, like, a week.
Okay.
Because, like, I feel like a lot of people, like, critique, like, Disney movies or whatever. Like, oh, the princess falls in love with this man after, like, a day. Like, it's just not...
Yeah, I wouldn't say they fall in love.
It's just kind of a dumb trope, like, in general.
Yeah. I wouldn't say they fall in love necessarily, but they definitely do, like, develop an attraction to each other because they're both big gay.
Yeah. I still don't think it should take place within the span of a day. At least not that scene specifically should not take place within the same day of them meeting. Mm-hmm. I would give it maybe, like, 3 or 4 days.
Okay. I think I can manage that.
Yeah, like...
I can, like, tweak that a bit.
When I think road trip movie, I do not think of it taking place over 24 hours.
Yeah, for some reason, I did, like, a Google map over, like, how long it would take to get to, the area in Manitoba that they're, like, currently in, and where they're going to, the Canadian Supreme Court, which I think is in Ottawa. That's like a day trip, apparently.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, apparently. But that's, like, nonstop driving, so I guess it would be closer to, like, 2 days with, like, stopping to pee and, like, picking up snacks and whatever.
Why does it have to be Manitoba?
It's just the first place I thought of. It was just like I was trying to figure, like, a secluded kind of place that, like, Amy would be living in, that, like, it wasn't too close to, like, say, Toronto or something, where there probably would be more superheroes.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, because, like, you would figure that, like, there'd be bigger population in, like, a place like that, as opposed to, say, middle of nowhere in, like, upper Manitoba or whatever.
Yeah, I think...
North. That's the word for
upper.
Not upper.
It's up.
Title of this episode, Upper Manitoba.
Yeah. Oh, just for full disclosure, we're not from Canada. We're American. We have no idea what Manitoba or anything is like in Canada. Like, my dad's side of the family is Canadian, but none of my, like, actual family, like, lives in Canada currently.
Mm-hmm. I've never been to Canada. I would love to go. It looks really pretty.
We literally live in Florida. Like, we are the furthest from Canada that you could possibly be.
Not the furthest.
One of the furthest.
We could be in, like, Central America.
Huh?
We could be in, like, Central America.
I mean in, like, the United States.
That's true.
Maybe, like, Texas might get a little bit more south, but we are one of the most southern places in the United States of America.
Yeah. Maybe I could tweak it so they're going to the U.S. Supreme Court. But that kind of... It
would definitely take longer.
It would definitely take longer, but I feel like that wouldn't be, like, as fun, because at that point, why not just take a plane?
I guess, yeah, that's a good point.
That's the question.
Well, I mean, they have to be low-key. Like, if they, like,
Yeah.
had to, like, buy plane tickets or whatever, like, that information could be accessed by, like, the bad guys. So, like, they would have, in order to keep a low profile, it would make sense for them to drive, like, in a shitty car or something.
True. Yeah.
And, like, personally, I know more about the U.S., like, legal system. I don't really know too much about the Canadian legal system, so if it was me writing it, I would probably stick with something that I was at least a little bit more familiar with.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe keep that in mind if, like, Maggie is, like, stationed in Canada, but she's actually, like, an American citizen or something like that, so she would have to be tried by the American court or something.
Well, I think Jericho is an American.
Okay.
He just operates, like, all over the continent. Weird. Okay, so that seems wrong. This is telling me that the trip from Thompson, like, Manitoba, which is around where this is, to Washington, D.C. is about 32 hours. That seems fake.
Non-stop driving?
I guess.
Yeah, like, whenever it says, like, 24 hours driving time or whatever, that doesn't mean you'll be there within 24 hours. That means you will literally have to drive for 24 hours. You will have to stop, and you will have to break up that driving time. So, like, that doesn't mean, like, if you drive, you'll get there in a day. Like, you will still have to drive 24 hours. How much of that is all at once is up to you.
That's true. Actually, you know what? It does take the exact same amount of time to go to Ontario.
Yeah, that would definitely take.
Or no, Quebec is where. Is it Ontario? It's like right on the border. Ontario. It's like right on the border between Ontario and Quebec.
If it says 24 hours driving time, that would probably take like a couple of days. Because I personally...
it's 31 hours, so that's cool. So yeah, that would take a couple of days.
I probably couldn't drive for longer than like 8 hours at a time without needing to stop and like take a break or something.
I'm gonna have to drive 8 hours to see you, and I'm gonna be so tired.
Yeah, that's gonna.
I'm gonna be ready to die by the time I get to your place.
We'll have the futon ready for you.
Good.
I'm gonna do some math here. 32 hours, assuming that they're driving 8 hours at a time and like 8-hour chunks, would take about 4 days.
Okay.
4 times 8 is 32.
Okay, yeah. That works. So
maybe it's like maybe it's like they have to, the court date is in 5 days and they have to make it work within that period of time to give you some wiggle room for like, I don't know, they stop here and have a fight with
or
bad
they
guys,
stop here for waffles or something.
Yeah.
So either way, they wake up the next morning and Jericho's there, and the traitor cop is revealed, and there's a big old scuffle. This is the climax.
All cops are class traitors.
No cops of pride, just Amy and Maggie.
No cops. They don't exist.
What cops? What's a cop?
Certainly not here.
Like when you cop a feel?
Oh. Or when you cop a cool pair of shoes.
When you cop some meat.
Meep.
When you flop your chop.
When you smork this bong.
Have you ever heard that, flop your chop?
No.
I heard that on a podcast yesterday. It apparently means like when you like flop your dick out.
Oh, wow, okay.
Flop your chop.
Was it one of the Australian podcasts
Australian
that you
ones?
listened to?
Yeah. But even they were like, what does that mean? I've never heard that before. That is not Australian.
Flop your chop.
Oh, yeah, mate, we're gonna flop a chop. That was Scouse. That's not even sort of Australian.
I keep thinking of, because I've been seeing a bunch of jokes. Back to Pokemon. I've been seeing a lot of jokes on, because, like, this new game is literally set in, like, Pokemon England. And, like, there's so
the legendary Pokemon wakes up. Alright, what's all this then?
Yeah, like, the Dialga and Palkia, like, rip a hole in this space-time continuity, like, right over Pokemon Big Ben, and, like, all of the citizens of basically London are like, wait, what's all this, then?
Alright, this better not stop me from watching my footy. I gotta watch the footy game.
There was another, it's like, I saw, like, you know how in the trailer it had, like, the trainer and then, like, one of the opponent trainers that you, like, run into when you're, like, walking around? It was like, oh, you cunt, I'll make sure your wallet's as dry as your taint when I'm done with you. It's so fucking bad. It's so funny.
Oh, I definitely saw, like, a bunch of people, like, doing, like, Scottish Twitter tweets, like, in the dialect of... You know what I'm talking about, like, the...
Hold on.
Mm-hmm. Is it a robocall?
Sorry, I thought I was getting a call from the stupid AC people telling us that they're on their way, and it was, like, our Wi-Fi company trying to sell us cable. I fucking hate that.
Yeah,
I just hung up.
sucks.
Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, I thought it was a robocall or something.
A what?
It sounded like a robocall.
Raribo?
A robocall.
Oh, it was like an actual person, but, like, it's literally
Really?
always
Okay.
to sell us cable, so I just hung up.
Mm-hmm. Have you ever gotten, like, one of those... I mean, you don't have, like, a landline phone, but my parents do, so, like, I would get this phone call, like, all... My parents do.
Oh.
Because my dad, like, he has, like, old shitty friends that, like, like that don't know his cell phone number and only know his like the house number. And he's like, "Oh well, what if Steve calls and I need to talk to him or whatever?" And
just
mom's
tell your friends your phone number. What?
Well, he doesn't have any other way to contact them. Like they don't have like a cell phone or whatever.
I guess.
And my mom's always like, "Yeah, but you haven't heard from Steve in like 4 years and he sucks. So like it doesn't matter."
Maybe burning that bridge isn't such a bad idea.
Yeah,
that's really funny.
She's only like now starting to be able to talk him out of like talk him into getting rid of the phone.
Yeah.
But anyway, we would always get this like phone call that was one of those like automated like voice things, like it's just a recording.
Mm-hmm.
But like I think Patton Oswalt does a bit about this in one of his specials. He talks about like the same caller, like she does like "Oh hi, how are you doing? Oh hold on a sec, let me adjust my headset" or whatever.
Yeah, it's like a fake like robot, and it's like trying to seem more human. That's so creepy. I hate that.
By just let me adjust my headset. Like it's just a recording of just some random woman.
Hello. Thank you for being a customer with internet. Oops.
It's never like that. It's like an actual like recording of a person.
Like a real person
saying,
talking.
Yeah, but it's just a recording of that one person.
Oh, I thought it was like some Microsoft Sam ass shit, like, "Oops, I dropped my pencil."
"Oh no, I have to bend down and pick it up. I sure hope my skirt doesn't reveal anything."
Or like, you hear something bending over, but it's just like horrible robot grinding noises.
That's so funny.
Like metal scraping.
"Oh no, I need to bend over and pick it up."
Okay, I have obtained the pencil. Time to sit back up. Anyway, thank you for subscribing to our internet plan. Would you like cable?
Thank you for like, commenting, and subscribing.
So it's like
send us a
Huh?
Remember to ring the bell for notifications for future videos, and remember to subscribe and donate to our Patreon, our Indiegogo, our Kickstarter, and also our GoFundMe.
Wait, so what business does this robot work for? I was thinking just like an internet company.
No, I'm thinking that now it's like one of those like, you know, those YouTube channels that like they don't have like money for a microphone, so they just like they just like open like Mac and Talk or whatever, and just like say like, "Hey, can you like say these words?" So you just hear like, "Thank you for like, commenting, and subscribing" at the end of like a.
I don't necessarily see that, but I do see like where people just like pull up a text box and just like type what they're doing. Mm. So I'm assuming it's the same
I see that
idea.
too. I see like some videos of like it's a Minecraft Let's Play, and it's like, "Hello, welcome to Minecraft tutorial. Today I'm going to teach you how to do this basic thing. But don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and send me a tweet on Twitter to ask what you would like to see in the next video. And as always, remember to share with your friends, and also to ring the bell icon for more notifications for future videos. Don't forget to donate to my Patreon. Have a wonderful day. I love you."
Parentheses.
Have a wonderful day. Those things would always be so much nicer if they ended every sentence with "have a wonderful day." I love you. So anyway, there's a climax. Jericho shows up, and it's a big blowout fight in the snow with a bunch of like okay, you know how in superhero movies, you haven't seen superheroes in a while.
I mean, I know how they function. You know
you know the idea of like how there's always like a big climactic fight scene between like a bunch of sides. And maybe this isn't as common in superhero movies, but definitely in like action movies, there's always a bit where like they always fight the bad guys at the end, and everyone's wearing like a black suit with like a white shirt, and like they're all driving like black Audis, and like it's always like on like a gray street and a sidewalk, and like you can never see what's going on.
Yeah.
So like, imagine that but in the snow in rural Canada with, like, one side is, like, all wearing pink, and the other side is, like, a rainbow-haired, like, manic pixie dream girl, and also... and also, like, I don't have a design for Maggie yet.
I'm picturing Catra in my head.
You know what? Yeah. You're kind of right.
Yeah, I don't know why.
You know what? Their whole dynamic is kind of Catra and Adora.
They don't have, like, a shared childhood, though, so I don't think that's, like, the same.
But like, just the dynamic of it's a hero and a villain.
Yeah.
But, like, yeah, that... I'll get back to you on that.
Whatever, She-Ra's a good show.
It's a great show, yeah. Anyway, so, the heroes are triumphant, and the bad guys go to jail, and Maggie testifies, and everyone's, like, happy, and...
Is part of the thing is part of the thing that, like, Maggie, like, is offered, like, protection or something for testifying?
I think so, yeah. Okay. And I think the idea is, like, she's kind of like, I don't really want to be a supervillain anymore. It's too much stress. Like... I gotta do what's right for me, you know? Yeah. So, like, maybe she becomes a superhero with Amy wherever they go. Maybe they don't. Who knows? Yeah. But maybe they don't even last. Who knows? They just ride off into the sunset, ready for whatever comes next, and they're both better off.
Are you, planning on leaving
It's, like, kind of an open ending, but, like, a good, happy open ending.
So you are leaving it open ended. It's not that you haven't decided what's going on yet. Like, you just aren't gonna come up with it.
Well, it's sort of a thing of, like, they drive off together, you know, into the sunset or whatever. But, like, does that necessarily mean that they end up getting married and having a life together?
Not necessarily, no.
I hope they do. I wish them the best, but either way, the experience, like, changed the two of them for the better.
Leave room for sequel fodder, sequel bait.
Yeah. Sequel bait.
I do Not like really. The story. There's, like, little nitpicky things that, like, that could be fixed just to, like, make it...
Like, obviously, a lot of it's, like, very, like, outlined and, like, doesn't have, like, full-on... Like, scenes don't exist yet.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, the time frame is one thing that we discussed, and, like... One thing that I was thinking of earlier was, like... So, in a world where superheroes and supervillains exist, you would have to do, like, a decent amount of world building... And that can be, like, difficult to, like, make a... I guess, like, make the things that you want to experiment with in the storyline work for the world that it's in. Like, you have to create a world around it. So, like, Amy should, like, definitely know that, like, Jericho exists and shit. Like, this stuff should be, like, on the news. She should be aware of this before she is confronted with it.
It's one of those things that, like, they know he exists, it's they don't know his name.
Oh, okay.
I think. So, like, he has, like, an alias or whatever. I've been going with the Pink Man, because, like, Marvel has, the Purple Man, and also, I told you about the guy who showed up to Dollar Tree one day wearing all pink.
Yeah, yeah.
I was thinking, like, that would be a great... like, get up for, like, a superhero or a supervillain.
Yeah.
Like a mob enforcer, but, like, he's just wearing all pink.
What kind of pink are we talking? Like, hot pink or, like, a pastel?
Like a...
Because I have an idea. So, Jericho is...
It's not that kind of pink, like, on the heart over there. It's a lot, like, more pink.
Yeah, that's more dusty,
like,
too.
kind of, like, you're kind of, like, a little red in the face, on here. I would say, like, it's closer to, like, your, not blush, but kind of.
I'm a pink person. My complexion is very pink. What about my blanket? Like, that color pink?
That's a bit more salmon, I would say.
Yeah, that's true.
Not quite that. I would say more, like, probably closer to a hot pink. Like a tickle me pink.
Okay.
Like a crayon pink.
Because I have an idea for, like, an alias, because Jericho is, like, a biblical name. I think it would be cool to go with something else that's biblical, and the only thing that popped into my head was Babel. Like, the Tower of Babel.
Okay.
Because Jericho was like the wall that they had to knock down, and the Tower of Babel was like another like architectural structure. So like, I don't know. That was the connection in my head. Do with that what you will, but
sure.
I definitely think that the alias should also be biblical.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. I'll look at like pink references in the Bible or whatever.
Huh. Okay.
See if there's anything like that. What were we talking about before we got into the pink thing?
World building,
yeah. So I've been working on, like, on and off this for a couple of years. Because my original idea was make a TV show and a couple, like, spin-off movies.
Yeah.
But then the idea changed to, this doesn't work as a TV show. This should just be a bunch of, like, interconnected but also not connected movies.
Yeah.
Sort of like Cloverfield or The Twilight Zone. Like, they're all sort of set in the same universe, but, like, you don't have to see one of them to, like,
they can be, like, standalone, like, media for consumption.
Yeah, so, like, we could have, like, another superhero movie, like, it's a spiritual successor or whatever, but it's set in England, and it's an action movie, or we can do that heist movie I was talking to you about, with Fort Knox.
Yeah.
Like, that's all part of the same universe. So, like, we can have, like, other movies and whatever to, like, expand on, like, the world.
Yeah. It sounds...
And, like, the concept of superheroes and supervillains just existing.
It's like Black Mirror, where it's like an extended reality sort of thing, but, like, each episode is a completely different story.
Mm-hmm. I also came up with a little one the other night of, like, it's like only a brief, like, just a concept. So I don't have, like, an outline for it or anything. But it's in the 70s and, like, the late 70s, and yeah. So there's a very famous, like, disco musician who's also a superhero. So he's like a international, like, pop sensation, and also he's a superhero.
Mm-hmm. Like Hannah Montana.
Sure. Yeah.
I'm kidding, obviously.
Yeah. She's an anti-hero. But one day he just goes missing. Like, he just disappears. And so his manager and, like, this jazz musician have to, like, team up to, like, find him and, like figure out what happened to him, like, who took him. So it's like it's a mystery, it's a musical,
I just thought of it winds up being, like, the twist in Megamind where he just, like, fakes his own death and goes into hiding to, like, do something else, and he's just, like, hasn't shaved in, like, months, just, like, lives in a basement in, like, a bathrobe.
That could be funny. Like, to get away from, like, the whole pop craze.
Yeah. He wanted to try out, like, country music, so he went into hiding.
He went into hiding and became, like a bluegrass musician.
Ooh, that'd be dope.
Under, like, a new alias.
Yeah.
And no one knew it was him. Just because he put a twang in his voice and no one noticed.
Yeah.
I like that. So yeah, that's my pitch for... The working title I have is Northern Lights. Just because it's Canadian and it's, like, pretty and cute. That's the only thing I could think of. But I'm definitely, like, not married to it at all.
You should call it Northern Fights.
I think I pitched Northern Fights to you, and you said, it's a little on the nose.
No, it's stupid. Like, that's why I said it. Like, okay. That was totally a joke.
Okay.
I like it as a working title. I think it could be better, but...
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Once, like, titles are hard. It's better to come up with them.
Titles are so
towards the end. Yeah, don't even fucking worry about it.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, that's my pitch for working title, untitled superhero rom-com film.
Cool. Untitled Aquaman sequel. Oh, y'all didn't know this was an Aquaman movie.
Plot twist. That's the Shyamalan twist of it all. It's secretly Jason Momoa shows up at the end.
I'm texting.
Yeah, Jason Momoa shows up at the end and says, "Hey, Amy, you need to join the Avengers. Thanos is coming." He's just for no reason in the Avengers now.
You're just like,
it's never explained.
You're just like,
we know. And in the next Avengers movie, he isn't there. He's just...
You just, like, destroy the Marvel DC, like, dichotomy, just, like, for fun.
Yeah. Just for funsies. Just as a prank. So, I know I spent most of this episode doing the talking. But also...
You have a segment.
Jessie has a problem of buying Blu-rays. What has she bought recently?
Did you have to look up what the song was in a previous episode?
No, I want to check like how long we've been going for.
Oh, okay.
Like in the audition. So no, I remember the lyrics to my song.
Okay. Your very good song.
This is my song. This is my song and no one can take it away. This is Jessie's Blu-ray blast because I have a problem of buying too many Blu-rays. And I like to talk about the Blu-rays I've bought recently. So this one's a little controversial.
Ooh.
For a couple of reasons. So, the idea for Blu-ray Blast is that I would buy like a couple of movies and talk about them. But I've only bought one movie recently because I'm broke. And I got it really cheap. It was only like $5. Which I feel is a steal for this movie. It's a very divisive film. We might lose some fans because of this, Leo. But I feel like I'm okay with losing these fans.
I'm so terrified of what movie you got.
So I got Ghostbusters 2016 on Blu-ray.
Okay.
Because, look, some news came out about the Ghostbusters 3 that is in the works from the director of Juno. And he said, we're going to hand Ghostbusters back to the fans. Sort of implying that people who are fans of the 2016 movie are not true fans of Ghostbusters.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm getting from that, huh? That sucks.
And that the true fans of Ghostbusters
hate women.
are misogynists. And I immediately was reminded, because this immediately got trending on Twitter. Everyone was so mad. Jason Reitman, who's directing it, had to come out and apologize for say no, I did not mean it like this. I'm sorry.
Yeah, dude, that kind of sucked.
I saw like a couple of different people I follow just muting the word Ghostbusters from their timeline because they don't want to go through 2016 again.
God, what a
where
mood.
because it was the only thing straight men talked about for months was how much they hated Ghostbusters without ever seeing it.
Oh my god, I saw I saw like screenshots of somebody on Twitter that was like, I'm wanting to get into K-pop, recommend me your favorite bands and artists, and like they got like a bunch of responses with like, oh, you should listen to these groups or whatever, and they were like, okay, thanks.
Oh yeah.
Thanks for everybody that respond. I'm not gonna listen to any of these. You just gave me my next mute list for Twitter, so I don't have to see shit like that ever again.
That's so funny.
It was so
funny. So I remember like there was a huge controversy around like the Angry Video Game Nerd did a video saying that he wasn't going to do a review of Ghostbusters 2016 because he didn't want to see it, not because it has women in it, but because they shouldn't remake Ghostbusters. It's a good movie and they shouldn't remake such a great movie from my childhood.
They've remade so many very good movies, dude. It's probably because you hate women. Like
Here's the thing. So I've seen Ghostbusters. I've seen Ghostbusters 2. I like Ghostbusters 2 better, honestly. Ghostbusters 2 is a better movie than Ghostbusters 1, and I will fight you on this.
But also, like, don't at Jessie.
But don't at me. I don't fucking care. Ghostbusters is, like, really weirdly Reagan-y when you, like, rewatch it.
As in
it's
Ronald?
Very weird. What?
Reagan-y?
Yes.
Like Ronald Reagan?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it's very, like, of its era. Like, I will say. It's very 80s for all that is good and ill. There's a lot of, like, gross jokes, especially from Bill Murray's character, who's really creepy. He comes across really creepy in the movie.
Yeah.
Like, there's a bit where, like, Sigourney Weaver is essentially unconscious, and he kisses her on the breast.
Ugh, that sucks.
Yeah, there's stuff like that. It's pretty gross. There's a couple things like that. And also, like, Ernie Hudson's character was supposed to be Eddie Murphy, but Eddie Murphy dropped out, so they just went, oh, we'll just get, like, a black guy.
Okay.
And they didn't give him like anything to work with, so he's just kind of there.
Yeah.
Which sucks. So I watched I haven't seen Ghostbusters Answer the Call, which is retroactively what the 2016 movie is called. The all-women Ghostbusters remake. The Ocean's 8 to Ghostbusters, if you will.
Okay. Which I heard was a great movie.
I haven't seen it. I haven't seen Ocean's 8. All I heard was that my sexist roommates hated it and didn't see it. So...
Cool.
Who knows? Yeah. So it's probably good.
Yeah, honestly.
So I remember I saw Ghostbusters Answer the Call when it came out in 2016, and I haven't seen it or really thought about it since. I just remember being like, this movie's okay, it's fine, it doesn't deserve to be at the center of this controversy.
Yeah. But
since then, I've done a lot of thinking about it. And I watched it again last night, and I gotta say, Ghostbusters 2016 is good. Y'all are just sexist.
Yeah. That's like...
Y'all are just really sexist. This movie's very good. Like, the characters are very gay, honestly.
Yeah.
Like, they're very, very, very explicitly gay-coded.
Yeah.
I remember, I don't know if it was ever confirmed that Kate McKinnon was supposed to be, like, a lesbian, but, like, Sony made them, like, cut it out from the final cut.
Yeah.
But, like, Kate McKinnon is a lesbian in real life. And she very clearly plays the character as, like, also a lesbian.
Yeah.
She's very flirty with Melissa McCarthy and Kristen Wiig's characters especially. Chris Hemsworth's really funny in it.
Yeah, my like, parents actually saw that movie, and my mom was like, yeah, it's good. Chris Hemsworth is really fucking funny.
He's really funny. I think what some of the people don't like, aside from the sexism, is... I think what a lot of people don't like is the humor is different from the original movie.
Yeah.
Because the original movies were very, like, fueled on just sarcasm and one-liners between the characters. Whereas this movie's more kind of cartoonish, for lack of a better word.
Okay.
Like, there's a bit... Like, Chris Hemsworth is a cartoonishly stupid man.
He's like Knuckles.
In this movie. He's like he's dumber than any human being could possibly be.
Yeah.
Like, there's a bit where, they're gonna, like, talk about how stupid he is and maybe they shouldn't hire him behind his back, and they say, okay, don't listen to us, and he goes, okay, and he covers his eyes.
Okay.
And they're like, oh, and they go, oh god, he just covered his eyes instead of his ears.
That's really funny.
And, like, that joke happens again where he hears a loud noise and he gets startled and he goes, it's so loud, and he covers his eyes again. Like, he's just too stupid to live.
Yeah, God.
But, like, it's so funny. Like, it's different from the original movie, but, like, the original movie isn't that great, to me at least.
It's been a while since I've seen the original Ghostbusters, but, like, anything that men really like, I am suspicious of. So it's probably not that good.
You know what? That's a good life philosophy.
If men really like a piece of media, uncritically, I probably won't like it. Like shit like Fight Club and, like, Game of Thrones, Rick and Morty, like, media that, like, men consume ravenously and uncritically, I probably will not enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
I saw a post that said it was Breaking Bad, Game of Thrones, and something else.
Maybe Rick and Morty?
I don't think it was Rick and Morty. I think it was a live action show. Oh, The Walking Dead. It was...
Oh, yeah, that's their Super Hulock.
The Super Hulock for men. That's so funny.
Yeah. So, look, I really like this movie a lot. I want more people to watch this movie. I say when the third one comes out in 2020, which I'm so not looking forward to, you know what? I'm going to pull an angry video game nerd. I'm not going to see this movie. I'm not going to see it. I'm not going to review it. Not because I don't like the fact that they're putting men back into the mix. It's just because they shouldn't remake what was already perfect. And Ghostbusters 2016 is perfect.
I don't even think you believe that.
It's not perfect.
Yeah.
There's some dumb parts. I will say there's some really dumb parts. There's a bit where they're going into the subway to like track down a ghost. That's where like Leslie Jones's character works. Initially, she like works at the subway, and they like find like a graffiti artist down there who's about to start spray painting, and they're like, "Have you seen a ghost?" And they're like, "Oh," and he's like, "Oh yeah, I've seen it." And they're like, "What does a ghost look like?" And he starts drawing just like a cartoon ghost on the wall in spray paint, and Leslie Jones is like, "No, get rid of that ghost, take it down." And he's like, "Oh, you don't want the ghost?" And he like draws like a no sign through with like red spray paint, and he leaves. And like they all start walking off, and Kate McKinnon just stops and takes a picture of it, and she says, "Oh, that would be a good logo. That's gonna be a good logo. It's a good logo." And like, just very clearly pointing out, this is the Ghostbusters logo. This is the origin for the Ghostbusters logo. Like, just really hammering it in.
Like, if that was the origin, that's decent. But like,
yeah,
you don't have.
It's very ham-fisted.
Yeah, you don't have to lampshade it that hard.
Yeah, I don't think they're even lampshading it. I think they're just like. I think they're doing it out of genuine, and that's kind of worse.
Yeah.
Like, it's not there's some like callbacks to the original movies that are like very obvious and ham-fisted too. Like someone says mass hysteria. Dan Aykroyd very briefly plays a taxi driver who says, "I ain't afraid of no ghost." Like there's some very obvious like ham-fisted like we have to reference the original or the men will be mad.
Yeah.
But it inadvertently made more men mad, I think, which is okay by me.
Yeah, anything that makes, like, cis white men angry, like, I will probably like.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like the fact that it made men angry because they bullied, like, Leslie Jones off of Twitter.
Yeah, that sucks.
And, like, I think Paul Feig deleted his Twitter, too. So that sucks. But I really like it. It's a fun movie. It's cute. The characters are very cute and have good interactions with each other. The soundtrack is amazing.
Tyler kicked me.
Tyler, that's rude.
Tyler.
That's rude.
Anyway, you said the soundtrack is good?
Yeah, the soundtrack's great. A lot of it is... There's maybe like 3 covers of the Ghostbusters theme on there.
There's 3 different covers?
One of them's by Pentatonics.
Okay.
One of them's by Walk the Moon. And one of them is the Fall Out Boy Missy Elliott version that everyone hates except for me. I love it. I think it's great.
Fall Out Boy Missy Elliott version.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Wow. Those are not the same type of music at all.
Yeah, there's like a rap break in the middle where Missy Elliott just goes, I'm rapping about Ghostbusters or whatever.
Wow.
And then it just goes back to fucking Mr. Fall Out Boy, and he's just going like, I'm not afraid of no ghost.
Oh god, that sounds awful.
I love it. It's a shit show, but I love it.
So bad.
I love it. I think it's great. There's also a great Mark Ronson dance track called Get Ghost, which samples the
yeah.
It's a really good dance song.
That sounds cool.
There's like a 5 Seconds of Summer song on there. Who's the woman who did X's and O's?
Oh fuck, I don't know.
Rob Schneider's daughter.
We played that song a lot when I worked at Forever 21.
Yeah, can imagine. I saw there was a little girl doing X's and O's like karaoke at like the mall a couple years ago.
That's fun.
Like a little girl. Like that song's about like orgasms.
I know it's about like
it's about fucking around. It's about being a hoe.
Maybe not about orgasms, but it's definitely about like
nah, the O's is orgasms.
Oh fuck, you're right.
Yeah. X is like ex partners and O's like O face.
I hate that. Yeah, that's bad.
Yeah. It's maybe not the most appropriate song for a 6-year-old girl to sing.
The 6-year-old girl
like
is singing about nutting. That's just like awful.
It's like when you nut.
It's like when you nut.
It's like when you nut and spaceship push you backwards.
So we're going to wrap it up today for this episode. Thank you all for listening so much. I had a good time talking.
So much.
So much. I had a good time talking about actual projects and stuff, because that's what we set out to do. And
and I got to rant about how Ghostbusters is actually good.
Ghostbusters 2016 is good, actually.
Yeah, Ghostbusters Answer the Call is pretty good, and you can get it really cheap on eBay. Just get it for like $5-6
on Blu-ray.
On Blu-ray, it's a steal.
Yeah, that's pretty good for Blu-rays.
Yeah, like usually it's like fucking $10 or $15.
$1 billion.
Yeah, for like one Blu-ray. If I wanted to get like the Road to El Dorado, which I absolutely wanted to do, if one of you can send me
no
the Road to El Dorado,
don't solicit Blu-rays
from our fan. But yeah, I do really want to get that Blu-ray, but it's like only $20.
Only.
It's like only like sold at that price. I can't get it for any cheaper.
Yeah.
Which sucks. But also, I'll do what I can to donate to the Give the Road to El Dorado a sequel or remake fund.
Yeah. So, you can find us on Instagram and Twitter. I'm at Gouacheboy, Gouache, on both Instagram and Twitter. And Jesse?
And I am at I'm Okay at Things on Twitter and at GrinchFat on Instagram. There's an underscore between Grinch and Fat. Bear that in mind. Is there anything else we need to plug?
I think I'm good. Next episode, I think we're going to be talking about some of our creative challenges and things that we can do to overcome them. So next episode might be a little bit of a bummer, but we're hoping it'll be a constructive bummer. So yeah, thank you all for listening to today's episode, and we'll be back next time, when that will be.
Today's episode has been brought to you by Grape Nuts. Grape Nuts, for a snack you can't resist.
Good night, everybody. We'll see you next time.